And so the show has begun. We are here. My name is Zach, Community Pay It Forward, Community Dare to Care, and the Pack Channels. How are you all doing today? It is Friday. This is the Friday weekend review show, whatever the heck you want to call it. And I'm extremely happy today because why? Because this god awful football season is now. Well, not yet. Got a couple hours left. Got about 3 hours left, but it's officially over. And again, the Kansas City Chiefs won with the best record in football, so I'm happy. The NHL starts tonight, folks. That's right, my boys, New Jersey Devils, prospects. They start playing here in at 4:45. So you and your football stuff can just go and do whatever you and your football stuff want to do. We ran out of room or time, I guess, not really room. We ran out of time last Wednesday night before I was able to bring you an interview I was extremely proud of, and I'm really happy to bring it to you again today. And introduce you to this wonderful woman, Ruby. But the first thing that we're going to do today is we're going to introduce you to our brand new, as of today, brand new partner, and that is well, you know what? I think what we're going to do is we're just going to play the. Well, maybe we're not just going to play the video because for some reason I can't find it right here. How it cannot be right here is I don't know. So, well, looks like that things have already gotten off to a wonderful start. Everything I thought I had set up is now not set up. So we're going to do this. Well, we're going to bring you Ruby, and she's going to tell you about her wonderful program. Like I said, I did explain it a little bit on Wednesday, and this program is simply this: less stress, better people. So here is my interview with Ruby. Had a great time doing this. Learned a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff. But it is her wonderful program is really going to be beneficial to a lot of companies out there. And I'm going to tell you, companies. By the way, I will be sharing my results from the paperwork as soon as it's done. I just haven't had a chance to get it done. But and then I will try to get my stuff together. But this is once again, this is my brand new friend Ruby McCooney, and this is she's going to talk to you about how she can help you and your company stress less and do more. So here we go. Hello, everyone. It's Zach Clayton, Community Pay It Forward, Community Dare to Care, and the Pack Channel. How are you doing today? I had an interview or one-on-one yesterday with this lovely lady you see on my screen, and I wanted to bring her on because she's in the middle of working this program that I think would be fantastic. And especially when it comes to Rediscover the Happy Place. I think this is really something that could help a lot of people because what she's doing is trying to help mitigate stress. And I'd like to bring you Ruby McCooney. How are you doing, my dear?
I am well. Thank you, Zach, for having me. Thank you so much.
Yep, no problem. So you are working on a program to help people deal with not just everyday stress of one kind, but everyday stress of all kinds.
Yes, that's correct. And more specifically, stress management in the workplace, from an organizational perspective, and really helping bringing that awareness to the impacts of stress, and also preventing workplace burnout. My goal really is to help professionals thrive in their careers without sacrificing their health. And I think, Zach, yesterday I shared with you this quote that I actually don't know who said it, but it's a quote that stuck with me where, we spend the first half of our lives sacrificing our health for our wealth, and in the second half using that wealth to regain our health. And I really think that we can still thrive, in our careers, but not at the expense of our health. And stress is one of the, it's one of the major issues in the workplace and in everyday life. So
Stress is one of those things that can really bring and age people very quickly.
yes.
Um, what is it about stress that is so, yeah, it sounds like a simplistic question, or a simplistic answer, but it's really not. What is it about stress that really takes the human body and goes, hey, you know what, you look good. Here, let me do a little bit of ringing on you and make you look like a pretzel now. What is it about stress that does that to us as humans that really makes us go, wow, this isn't fun at all?
Yeah, that is such a great question. I think one of the things is when we don't break that stress cycle, because we do need that stress. There is, as we term it, good stress, and there's no, it's an advantage to have some sort of stress. But it's when we are constantly on that go go go, never actually breaking that stress cycle. I really equate it to a marathon runner constantly running all day, every day, and not actually taking a break, whether it's to stretch or to rest. And if we think about our work lives, from the morning and we're out the door, we're in traffic, then we're at work, and then we rush back home, and then we're dealing with everything at home, and then maybe not sleeping well or not even sleeping until much later. And then it's back to the same thing over and over again. And as a human body, I mean, when are we taking that break? When are we, even if it's like a midday break, just to take 5-10 minutes to go out, take a walk, or just to even stand up and just to switch off and just to calm your body down. Even breath work, just breathing, just to give that body a sense of safety, and so if you're constantly in that go 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 mode, then your body it can be draining, and then that's when people start to see, whether it's digestive issues, migraines, and things like that, as a body's way of compensating. So
One of the things that we've been hearing, and we've been hearing it a lot lately, and especially with caregivers,
yeah.
and that's the importance of sleep. Um, Sleep is one of the first things that they lose when they start caregiving because they're worried about somebody else. Then you also have that additional stress of taking care of somebody else, knowing that, oh my God, if I fall asleep, something bad can happen.
Yeah.
What can your program help them do to where it's not gonna eliminate all the stresses that they're gonna feel. It's not gonna make the person that they're giving care for, it's not gonna make them magically better. But what can your program do to help them in the time that they have to rest? What is your in your programs going to help them make sure that they are able to have that rest?
Yeah, well, definitely. I think one is identifying what can we do during the off hours, when they're not actually working. That's when those are the times to double down, if possible, on the stress management techniques, whether it's incorporating a wind down routine so that you're actually shutting off and giving your body um, time to wind down and actually fall asleep. Even incorporating a mindful morning practice, if possible, even during the works days, but incorporating a slower morning. Maybe that could be, instead of, sometimes we wake up and the first thing we do is grab our phone or turn on the news or whatnot, but maybe starting at a slower pace, whether it's just with some silence or some deep breath work or meditation for some people, light exercises for some. And then if there's a way to, so that's the morning, and then the evening time, really shutting off from external stimulants, whether it's TV, anything that's going to be stimulating, so to speak. So really calming your body down, whether it's reading, even like some light wind down yoga as well. And that can really help people actually get into that sleep state as well. So I would say for caregivers, really doubling down on their off days, on uh, trying their best to shut off, and actually, and taking walks as well, if they can get outside in nature as well, during their off days. But when they are working, trying their, because most of them, I guess, are working at night or during the day, trying to, in the morning or during that off time in their work day, fit in, whether it's a break or breath work, or a shutting off from tech and things like that. So it's really about finding those moments, whether it's 5 minutes, because sometimes we think of self-care as like 2 weeks vacation, but actually it's really, if we can start breaking off that, whether it's 5 minutes every hour or two, just to kind of get back into the present moment, that can really actually help a lot.
I know there's so many there's so many care workers who um, they don't have days off. It's now being in which we got lucky. Our foster son is yes, it's a 24-hour 365 job. Um, he does have disabilities, but he's not on the the higher end of the need scale. So we got lucky there. But I know that there are so many people who are caregivers 24 hours a day, and finding that extra time, that they need to find those 5-minute breaks to just sit there and just go and let it out, let it be, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And that's really one of the reasons why I decided to really focus on working with companies to, because it was very difficult to, because I worked as an in-home personal trainer for busy professionals, and it was really challenging to encourage my clients, hey, take a lunch break. But if you work in an environment where maybe you have meetings all day, or it's just not, it's easier said than done. And so I think definitely from an organizational perspective, encouraging, those healthier habits, encouraging taking breaks. And obviously with caregivers, it's a little bit different when people are out in the field. But but even having that open door policy where people can come and say, I'm feeling really stressed right now, I'm feeling burnt out, and even if there's a way to modify schedules or things like that. But I think one thing that I found, especially over these last 2 years, is when people, especially when companies have the open door policy and are starting to communicate more about burnout and stress and the impacts of it, it's opening up that door and allowing people to be more open about how they are actually feeling, and it's they feel more supported. The employees feel more supported that way as well.
Do you think a lot of these companies that and I know that every company mandates that you take breaks? Would it be a better thing if these supervisors, these owner of these companies would say, you know what? Yes, we're mandating that you have to take the breaks. That's a law thing. Okay. You've got to take them. There's just, it is what it is. But, I work for myself, and I tell myself all the time I need to take a break. Yet right now you would be very disgusted if you look on my desk, because I've got chips, melted cheese, and a half-eaten burrito right here because I've been doing this as I've been working all day. Would it be better if these companies said, look, we would like to take with this first break of the day, and let's all go outside and go for a walk? Or, if, we're going to do this, if you would like, come and join us. It's a scheduled, 10-minute walk. So you can come back in, grab yourself something to drink, grab yourself. Guess what? If we actually go over 15 minutes, you still have enough time to come back in, grab yourself a drink, grab yourself, a little snack or whatever, and then get back to it. Do you think it would be really better if these companies would maybe consider structuring a little bit of these breaks to where people don't feel like, well, damn, they're telling me that, I got to take this break, yet everyone else is like off doing their things. I don't have nothing to do, so I'd rather just sit here and work.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually worked at the company where we organized a walking challenge, which ended up becoming part of the company culture, in the sense that it first started with Wednesday walks, a Wednesday walking challenge or Wednesday walking event. And what we found actually after we did the assessment, after 4 weeks of doing that, is that team members actually, so every Wednesday at noon, people would gather in the lobby and then go out for a 30-minute walk. They actually ended up finding out much more about each other, during those walks. There was a lot more, and then people came back energized, especially Wednesdays because it's midweek. So, instead of, and it turned into oftentimes a walking meeting even. So, people came back more refreshed. There was more connection in the company, and they actually kept it going. And in other situations where every day it was like a company walking challenge, and it does certainly bring people together, and it does encourage those breaks. But I'd even add to go a little further than, maybe it doesn't have to be, especially for maybe companies that are working remotely. Maybe just when you see your supervisor or your manager taking a break, that is it's a very subtle but very impactful message, because what we found is that when a lot of people are hesitant to take a break if maybe their supervisor doesn't take a break for whatever reason. And it's not that anyone said, hey, don't take a break, but they feel so. For example, if you're working remotely and you are a supervisor of a team working remotely, actually putting your notification on a break has shown that that's actually uh, allowed or given the team members uh, more, feel more free to actually take a break. So it's just those subtle messages, and even encouraging breaks. Just saying, hey, everybody, take a break. Because believe it or not, for a lot of people, taking a break is is not as common as they would think.
I will. My last job before the accident. Um, they used to tell me every day, you know, you don't take your break, it's something we can let you go off because of. And I'm like going, okay, catch me not taking a break, and I'll let you, let me go. I never took a break. I never, ever, ever took a break. I didn't take a lunch. I was always on the run. I was one person doing three people's jobs. I was busting my butt every minute of every day. Now, there were certain days when I didn't have so much to do. I'd take a little bit longer break. It'd be like, oh, well, I haven't had lunch in like 3 weeks. So I think I'm going to take an hour here, And so, there were times I did get to, that's one of the things about being kind of, working alone, I guess. But, you know, I, I was one of those people that I was so wrapped up in the job, and I am a workaholic, so hard for me to step away and do anything. Partly because it's hard for me to get motivated to come back and do anything else, to get back into it.
Yeah.
what do you suggest for people who feel the same way? I hate taking breaks because it's so difficult to come back and get back into the way the work feeling.
Yeah, so that's interesting. And so I would say at least maybe start with could you sit where you're seated so you're not stepping away, maybe just incorporate some stretches, maybe just
Mhm.
loosen up the shoulders, roll your neck, just just at least just take a break where you are. It doesn't have to be exiting your desk or exiting the office, because maybe that um, stepping away and you feel like you could be doing so much more. But maybe just incorporating a light stretching break, even if it's, you know, um, whether looking away from your screen or whatnot. But if you feel that when you come back, then you're not motivated, then maybe just staying there. But I do wonder, did you feel after going through, when you did take breaks and you came back, was it more a mindset thing that you thought that, if you left your desk that you wouldn't get everything done, that and so you thought that you had to really work throughout
That's
the day?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I knew that if I took 30 minutes out of my day, I was going to be there for 30 minutes longer that night.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
I worked right up to 14 hours a day. And I
Oh,
was a
wow.
DOT driver, so that is exactly how long I could work was 14 hours. I pushed the limit. I pushed the limit every day because there was so much to do. Once again, I was the only one doing, the job of three or four people. I was the only one doing it. And so it made it very, very difficult for me to take breaks, just because if I did take a break, I felt like I was always behind. I felt like, darn it, I could have made it this extra, in this time, I could have made it this extra 45 miles and got this one done. And then I'd be that much closer to being done for the day. So it was always that, but in all transparency, I use work a lot of times as reasons why I don't do a lot of things. I don't like reading because I always feel like I could be doing something productive.
Mm.
But I listen to books all the time. I listen to books constantly. But so why don't you go on ahead, and we have two ways that we can go here. If you've got your video up and ready to go, we can watch your video and then you can explain it after that. Does that sound good?
That's perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so once again, we're being joined by Ruby Makuni, and she's going to be showing this 5-minute video. And just enjoy it. If you have any questions, please make sure that you email me at zach@communitypayupforward.us. I'll send the questions to Ruby. She can answer them, and we will get the answers back to you. So, but here we go.
All right, thank you.
Whether you're looking to gain a better understanding of how stress is affecting you, how to find new and better ways to reduce and master stress, or if you want to help your employees with their stress, the Stress Mastery Questionnaire, or SMQ, is the gold standard for helping people learn how to reduce and master stress. Over the past 30 years and 600,000 administrations of the SMQ, we've learned that in order to master stress, you first need to understand how stress may be affecting you physically, emotionally, and behaviorally right now. Based on that knowledge, you can apply evidence-based tools and techniques to create a life with less stress. The SMQ was developed by Dr. James Peterson, a psychologist and internationally recognized stress expert. It has been thoroughly researched through a grant from the National Institute of Safety and Health and has been shown to be effective for personal self-development or for use in corporate stress management coaching and training programs. In addition, the SMQ is the first and only stress assessment tool certified by the American Institute of Stress. It's quick and easy to take and will help you discover how stress is affecting you, the cause of your stress, and how you can reduce and master stress using simple, proven, effective techniques. Research has shown that stress is a major problem today, not only in the US, but globally. According to the American Psychological Association, 75% of all visits to physicians' offices are for stress related problems. The real problem is that most people live and work under chronic and prolonged stress. Unfortunately, many people simply get used to or ignore their high stress levels. In effect, chronic stress becomes the new normal. Solving the stress problem requires becoming more aware, not just of how and when stress is affecting you, but by providing answers and solutions to solve the problem of excessive and chronic stress that may be impacting your health, productivity, and quality of life. The Stress Mastery Questionnaire is a powerful stress awareness tool that provides a window into what to change. In essence, the SMQ provides specific feedback in 3 important areas or scales. The first are stress warning sign scales, or how stress is revealed in behaviors, attitudes, and feelings such as anger, burnout, and time urgency. Second, learn how stress is impacting physically and emotionally. These are the stress effects scales. Last, you will learn about your own personal stressors and how they act as triggers that produce the stress response. The stressor scales look at both major life events such as death of a loved one, divorce, and financial problems, as well as daily hassles. After you complete the SMQ, you will receive 3 important products that will help you master stress. The first thing you will immediately receive after completing the SMQ is your Stress Mastery Profile. The profile shows your risk scores from high to low on each of 11 SMQ scales. Next, in order to dive deeper, you will receive your 9-page personal stress mastery report. The report is based on how you answered each of the 87 questions. The Stress Mastery Report reveals your risk score on each SMQ scale, as well as how you answered each question. Armed with this information, you will be able to see and pinpoint what to focus on for personal change and development. Information from the SMQ alone is not enough. It is essential to learn how to reduce and master stress based on your scores from the SMQ. This is accomplished with Dr. Peterson's Stress Mastery Guide and Workbook. This 66-page guide and workbook explains the meaning of each scale, along with what to know and what to do if you scored high risk on any scale. This guide and workbook is based on the latest evidence-based research on stress, stress management, resilience training, mindfulness, and stress mastery. With the Stress Mastery Guide and Workbook, you will be able to create a plan of action to meet your needs. After taking the SMQ, you will have a better understanding of how stress is affecting you right now, a clear awareness of the source of your stress, as well as access to proven effective tools and techniques to master your stress for greater peace of mind and less stress.
Okay, thank you, Zach.
No problem. Now, go on ahead and tell me a little bit about what people can expect when they call you.
So definitely first step is gaining an awareness of how stress is impacting each person individually, which is we're all unique to the stresses in our lives and how stress is impacting us. And in our modern day world, chronic stress for a lot of people has become almost very normal. So a lot of people don't actually recognize or realize that they are under stress. I mean, the amount of times I've heard people say, especially when we actually dive into the different stages of burnout. The amount of times I've heard people say, "Oh my gosh, I can't." I thought that it was just me, but it's all this stress that I've been under. But more importantly, that there are things that you can do. I mean, stress is not going anywhere. We are always going to have stress in our lives, but at least once we get an awareness of how stress is showing up in our lives, whether it's identifying the stresses for each person, how stress is impacting people physically, emotionally as well. And then once we dive into that, then we look at how can we then start addressing and working towards managing, the stress, whether it's in the workplace or at home, just by creating simple daily habits as well, which is specific to each individual person as well. So the starting point is really the stress risk assessment, because it does give people that awareness of, how stress is impacting them, to be honest. Yeah.
The one question that I asked you that was really the first question that I asked you that I really found uh, curious is what what do you tell people when they take this test, because it's going to come up different depending on their mood. So what is the best time for them to take this test? Because If you just, as we were talking about yesterday, if you just got home, you found out your dog peed all over the floor, you ran out of gas on the way to work, you got there and your favorite Kit Kat bar was stolen out of the fridge, you're not going to be in a good mood. Probably not the best time to take a stress test, right?
Yes, it's probably not the best time when you are feeling
Steal
highly
my Kit Kat, you're going to ruin my day.
but I will say, when people take it to be as honest and open as possible, and especially, just looking at your everyday life and how you tend to respond to situations, and then also when we go through the report, we are, as I go through each section and we analyze the report, there is that opportunity. Some people are often surprised, that, oh, okay, I didn't realize that maybe my perfectionism is such an issue, but it is a self-awareness, a self-reflection that, oh, okay, well, I never once thought about that, but I guess that makes sense. So, and then in some cases, some people might say, I don't know about that. So, but just basically taking it and being as open and honest with yourself as possible, when you are taking it, because after all, it is your analysis, your self analysis, and it's a guide and a tool at the very least.
Have you ever had somebody take this test and go, well, I answered it the way that I thought you wanted me to answer it, but this isn't the true answer? How do you get people, in which we're all guilty of this, we're all going to say something every once in a while that we think that people want to hear, for different reasons. um how do you get them to say, to stop that and go, this is about you, don't worry about what I want you to answer, because I don't care what you answer. If anything, it's going to hurt you in the end.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point, because this is not, we call it a stress risk assessment. It's not a grading tool. You're not going to get an A, B, or C on it. It is something to help the person that's taking the test. And quite honestly, most people that come to me are aware that they are under stress and that they do need that support, and they are aware that, stress is an issue for them. So I've never actually had that response where someone's responded and, in a way that they thought was the right way. But again, I would say, if someone, and in my initial consultation with someone, I always make it clear that this is a tool to help you, and it's no judgment on my part at all. And especially, people shouldn't be judging themselves for the results. It's just an avenue to start working towards ways to, to help them manage their stress. So, yes, it's nothing to feel, you know, beneath,
Stressed
or
about.
yeah, nothing to feel stressed about. Exactly.
Well,
So,
that sounds great. So, and just to let everybody know out there, Ruby and I are going to be putting this to test. She's given me the questionnaire, and it is a total of 87 questions. Correct?
yes, but it's not. It sounds like a lot, but it's not that long. It's really simple to take. It's really very, very simple.
Okay. And uh, we're going to, the whole basic premises of this is trying to find relief from chronic stress, or trying to find chronic stress solutions, right? And I mean, there's just, we all know that stress is something. I love the way that you put it at the beginning, is that we need some stress. Look, we're all, some of us are driven by stress.
Mhm.
Some of us, and I'm just going to say this right now, and I'm pretty sure that you're going to see this in my assessment. I'm almost afraid to take away some of the stress, because I don't know what life is like without stress. I've been living a stress-filled life now for over 20 years. I'm not sure exactly what my life's going to be if I can sit back and go, huh, I didn't have to worry about that one bit. You know, I'm afraid I'm going to sit there and go, what the hell did I just miss? You know, so, but I'm actually really looking forward to taking this. Ruby, how do people get a hold of you if they want to find out more?
Definitely either on LinkedIn or my email address. And LinkedIn, it's Ruby Makuni and under corporate wellness. And my email address is R and my last name, MAKUNI at fitactivetone.com.
That sounds great. And we will, just to let you know, Ruby, we will have this, when this interview plays, we will have that all in a banner. I'll put that down there. So Ruby is not yet, and yes, this is a pressure point. She is not yet a community pay it forward partner, but we're working on getting her there. Yes. We're working real hard to get her there. So, but she is a friend of the show. And when we had our one-on-one yesterday, I asked her to please come on to the show, because this is something, as we've been talking about, rebuilding the happy places here, because human life is precious and we're losing too many people to end of life decisions. And it's one of those things that I think that if some of you businesses out there can take this serious step and realize that, you know what, a good portion of the everyday life is spent in your company. So maybe you should really take a look at de-stressing situations. Maybe there's a way that we can start making life a little bit easier. Look, there's not a magic wand that we can wave and everything's going to be okay. Not a single one of us have that in our power. But every one of us can do a little bit of something that can make a huge difference in someone's life. Ruby, with what she was talking about, I think that this is something that every single one of us as business owners, if you have 9 million employees, I think this is something that maybe you really ought to take a look at, and maybe it can help you guide your way through some programs that can help you and help stress levels, especially if you see a place where everything is overtly high. This will give you a direction that maybe you can go, maybe we ought to switch to decaf, you know, or you know, maybe stop feeding them like Skittles for lunch. By the way, stop feeding them Skittles for lunch. Those are just candy covered uppers. All right. They really are. But Ruby, I appreciate you joining me today. And I look forward to when you sign with us and we can talk to you all the time and we can make sure that we're doing this. I think that I would like to share my results with everybody, and so they can kind of see exactly what this is like. And then you guys are going to get to learn a little more about me and my stress level. But you know, I really do. I think this is going to be a way that maybe we can really help some people out here, because I do believe that you've got something wonderful here, and I think that you got a way that we can really help a lot of good people through some tough times. So again, I thank you for being part of Rediscover the Happy Place. And you know, as we always say, you know what, there's no good reaction to a suicide. Suicide is finality. That's it. And you can only react to it one way, and that's in a negative way. Let's pre-act. Let's start helping people who need help. So my name is Zach Clayton. I want to thank one more time Ruby Makuni for joining us and being a wonderful addition to our program. So thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Zach. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, okay, everybody. Now that you guys can see me, sorry, you have to see me. Now that you guys can see me, oh boy, Ruby, and like I said, I can't tell you how much I actually appreciated that. Her system to me was something that I really see that as being something that can be very vital for companies around the world. Um, Stress is all around us every minute of every day, and we have to make sure that we're taking care of it. If we're not, I mean, let's be honest here. If we're not, we're well, hurting a lot more people than we need to be hurting. Um, as business owners, what can we do to lessen the stress in our companies? Just a thought. So, if you guys want to get a hold of Ruby, please reach out to me. You can reach out to me on my link tree. There it is, right there. Just reach out to me, see what we can do, see how we can help. My next recorded guest is Professor M.S. Rayo. He is a multi-time author, survivor from a tragic COVID story. He ended up having high blood pressure, and with the COVID, he ended up having he's calling it a brain seizure, but it sounds to me like it's a brain hemorrhage. But different country, country, different names. But this is a brand new friend of mine. I mean, he contacted me the other day and asked if I would tell his story, and I listened to his story, and I was like, by God, you better believe I will. His story is extremely important. He does talk about some of the great things that he has, his love for the Dalai Lama, and more things that have helped him through his difficult time. I really appreciated this interview. I really enjoyed talking to him. There is a little bit of a language barrier here. I will be honest; it's a little hard. Just listen to the best of your ability, and I'm pretty sure that you can do what I do, and we can get through it. But he wonderful story here, talking about his two of his books are what we're really focusing on right now, and without any without any more of me stammering around, I want to go on ahead and bring on this interview. Once again, this is Professor M.S. Rayo, and talking about his books, his stroke, and so much more. So please enjoy this. Again, if you have any questions, please send me an email to Zach at communitypayitforward.us. Zach at communitypayitforward.us. When you do that, I will get the questions for you, and we will go from there. I'll get the questions from the guests. So here is Professor Rayo. Hey everybody, it's me, Zach Clayton again, President, Founder, Community Pay It Forward, and joining me is Dr. Rao. How are you doing, my friend?
Yes, I'm doing great. I had a brain stroke in the year 2021, and I was on the bed for a few weeks, and my entire right portion of the body was paralyzed, and I was on the bed, and I was in ICU, intensive care unit, and then gradually I recovered because of my positive psychology and because of my right attitude and because of the power of my subconscious mind. Because of these things, I survived. Still, I'm having mental challenges, physical challenges, and financial challenges, but I'm not giving up because I'll fight to the finish and I'll see to it that I'll be back to the track.
What is one of the things that you learned after having the brain? It was an aneurysm, was it not, or
It was a brain stroke.
a brain stroke? Okay.
Brain
Yeah.
stroke.
What was the most important thing that you learned while you were recovering from this stroke?
So this is something unexpected. Okay, first point. And basically, I am from a military veteran. And at the age of 18, I joined the Indian Air Force. I am an Indian Air Force veteran. So at the age of 18, I joined the military. So I have certain good qualities and positive qualities and healthy habits. And I'm basically a resilient leader. Okay, so despite all these things, I don't know why I had a brain stroke during the second lockdown in the year 2021, and it's because of the coronavirus. And I was about to come out of the coronavirus, and suddenly because of the high blood pressure, and my right portion of the body was paralyzed, and I was on the bed. And literally, I was dead. I was lucky to be alive after the brain stroke. So okay, gradually I recovered with my attitude, and daily I'm doing physiotherapy exercises. So 2 hours in a day, and 6 hours in a day I'm sitting with the internet, and 2 hours in a day I'm going for a walk. Gradually I'm pulled up myself, and I'm coming out of this abyss. Okay, so the journey was very painful, but I'm very bullish, and I'm very much optimistic that I'll get back to the track very soon. Probably it may take 2 more years to get back to the track. In fact, I had some short-term memory issues, and I was stammering, and now the stammering has come down because I'm using blood thinner. Okay, because of that blood thinner, so I'm able to speak better than what I was. Hopefully, maybe after 6 months, after in a year, I'll be able to speak very fluently. So I'm very confident.
What we and you've already stated that this was because of high blood pressure and COVID. It was a combination of both of them. What if the doctor said that you could have done to prevented this? Was there anything that they gave you specifically?
No, my wife had COVID, and I also had COVID at that time, in the year 2021. And my wife didn't have any problem, but I had this problem because of the high blood pressure. That led to this problem, this paralysis. Entire body was paralyzed, and gradually I started walking, but while walking also still I have problem. So this is how the things have happened. But this could have been averted if I got a blood thinner. So blood thinner, I don't know whether you know it or not. Blood thinner is required. That I didn't know, and I never thought of this blood thinner. If I had that blood thinner, probably this could have been avoided. And the second thing was that I am already 59 years old, and it's a age because of the age factor also. This is one more problem. So all these problems came at a time. So, but somehow I survived because of my willpower, because of the power of subconscious mind. Because I have the moment when I collapse, I within my mind. I unlocked the power of subconscious mind. I was telling to myself, "I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm all right." I was telling within my myself, within my mind. So that repetition of my statements within my mind, positive affirmations or whatever you call. I was saying that I was all right. I was saying within myself because I was not able to speak also. That was the thing. This face, the
Yeah.
head turned
Yes.
like this, uh, right side. I think some for a week back, one woman also, I think anchor, a very famous anchor. She also had the same this problem. I don't know if you know it or not. I don't recall that girl. She was speaking. She's a very eminent actor. And suddenly, while speaking, she told, "Oh, I apologize. I had some problem. I am not able to speak like that." She collapsed. So it happened some 1 week back. I forgot that woman. So these things are coming. These are all happening because of the health issues, and there are some side effects of coronavirus.
Yeah. One of the things that after my accident, after I was run off the road on my motorcycle, I ended up suffering quite a bit of palsy on the right side of my face, and I know that when you have a stroke, palsy is one of the effects of it. And I was watching a little bit of your video on YouTube, and I could tell that your left side was still affected by the palsy. How are you doing on that?
No, I think you are okay. Sorry to ask you this question. I think you are okay. I think, no? Do you have any health issues? You also had issues, some health issues. You
Yeah.
had an
Oh,
accident.
yeah.
What was you had a? Did you have any accident?
Yeah. I was run off the road on my motorcycle 8 years ago. Yeah, and so I ended up with a brain injury as well. So TBI, fractured skull, busted up
Oh,
face.
oh my
So
goodness. So
yeah,
but you seem to be perfectly all right.
yeah. I have headaches every minute of every day.
Yeah, I
Um,
get headache. Yeah, I too get headache. I too get headache
yeah.
because of the brain stroke. Sometimes I'm getting headache and I'm taking medicines also.
Yep.
I'm taking medicines. Okay. Sorry. Sorry to interrupt. So, what is your question now?
Yeah, I was just wondering, how is your palsy doing? Does it still affect your day-to-day motion? Is that something that the physical therapy is taking care of? But like the palsy and the droopiness in the arms and everything, is that getting better?
Yeah, I'm getting better. I'm getting better. Yeah, this is a positive sign. Usually, when I had this brain stroke,
Mm-hmm.
usually it takes within 4 hours. I had to recover.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it took 7 hours that day. So I was
Mm.
literally dead. so, uh, I was lucky to be alive. That's one thing. Now, because of the physiotherapy exercises and walking, and I started hitting gym recently because I'm hitting gym for 40 years.
Yeah.
I'm a military veteran. When I was 18, when I was 15, I started going to gym. When I was 15 years old, I was going to gym because I wanted to join Indian military. So by 18, I joined Indian military. Okay. So that is the kind of background I am having. But it was unfortunate that I had this stroke.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, this is something which is beyond our control. But maybe because of my willpower, somehow I'm coming out of this problem.
Okay. Uh, you have released one of many books, but you've just released a book about your journey, your health journey, this injury and everything. Tell us a little bit about your book, please.
Okay. This is the book titled "See the Light in You," for which the Nobel laureate, His Holiness Dalai Lama, has written a foreword. This is the book.
Oh wow. So you got the Dalai Lama to do the forward. That is
Yes,
fantastic.
he has written a foreword for my book, and
Wow.
I'm very happy. This is one of my best books in my lifetime.
And
So,
you've
like
written
this,
about 50 of them, correct?
50
Yeah.
books I have
Wow.
authored. 60 I have written, but 50 have been published. And because of the brain stroke for more than a year, I am not able to type because my right hand is not working. So I have a problem, and my mind is also not fully attentive. So that's the reason, I am not able to write creatively. Actually, I am a creative writer, but the health issues have disturbed my things, but somehow I'm coming out of it. Now, coming to this book, this is a very one of my favorite books, and I write books on various categories like mindfulness, leadership, leadership, this training, learning, students, like that. I wrote various we approved it. Then I'm grateful to the Nobel laureate for it's a kind of a gift to me that he has taken time and wrote a forward for my book on
The,
mindfulness.
yeah, the Dalai Lama is not the Dalai Lama. Sorry, forgive me, please. The Dalai Lama is not the only big name that you've had forward a book. You've also had the Vice President of India,
Oh,
who gave you a forward of your book.
yeah. This is I have written so many books. Okay, now let me share it with you. You have asked. This is the book titled "Strategies to Build Women Leaders," and the Vice President of India has written a foreword for this book.
Wow.
And the greatness of this book is I have dedicated this book to three women leaders. Okay. Uh, 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 yeah, I just this book has been just this book, I have dedicated this book to uh, Rosa Parks, Maya Angelou, and Oprah Winfrey because I admire these women leaders. So I have dedicated this book, and I have signed up for a hashtag he for she. I advocate gender equality globally, so I have dedicated this book to these three women leaders.
That's honestly that's three women that Rosa Parks is just first off, no matter what your race, no matter what your religion, that's a wonderful story. What Rosa Parks did led for, I mean, the equality should be much more than it is today. But we all need to really study what Rosa Parks had to go through just to do what she did, and the effects of her life even afterwards. While there was some positive, there was also much negativity surrounding what she did. So I think it's very positive to remind people what she had to do. So you
Okay,
also,
okay. Let me share with you.
yes, please.
So everything has got positive side, negative side.
Yes, sir.
A coin has two sides.
Yep.
A coin. So so let us see the positive side of the things,
Oh
not
yeah.
the negative sides. What you say is right. I do agree with that. And let me tell you, this Rosa Parks refused to vacate that seat. That led to movement. Then the civil rights. Then Dr. Martin Luther King, started
Yep.
this civil rights movement, and he got the Nobel Prize. So I admire Dr. Martin Luther King, and I also admire Nelson Mandela.
Oh,
Okay.
you also got to meet Nelson Mandela. That's fantastic. Uh, Tell me, and we didn't even, talk about this prior to us starting this interview. What kind of effect did Martin Luther King have in India?
Ah, so suddenly, spontaneously, you ask a question, and spontaneously, I am giving this response. And Dr. King, Dr. Martin Luther King came to India to meet Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi,
Okay.
the father of so he met and also Mahatma Gandhi has got many followers. There are some, I think, five or six, I think six Nobel laureates who are followers of Mahatma Gandhi. One is Nelson Mandela, Dr. Martin Luther King. Then I'm not able to read this His Holiness Dalai Lama and three more leaders. I'm not able to think this Barack Obama. He's also follower of Mahatma Gandhi. So because of the brain stroke, I'm not able to recollect all the leaders. So please forgive me. Otherwise, my mind is very alert and I have got a lot of facts and figure on my mind. So there are six Nobel laureates who are followers of Mahatma Gandhi.
That's fantastic. You have a video that you wanted to share with us. You had about a 1 minute video that you would like to share with us. You want to take over and share your video, please?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. You can share it with me. Yeah.
Yeah, if you just hit share screen, you can play your video.
No, what I wanted, 1 minute video. If you can record for this interview, that I am going to share with my network. That was
Oh,
the.
okay, I get it. I'm sorry, I misunderstood that. So
No, it's
yeah,
okay. It's okay. It's okay. There was some miscommunication.
yep.
No, maybe miscommunication from my end. I apologize.
We
So
we are two peas in a pod there, Professor. That you know what? I've got the head injury as well, so it could be two people with head injury saying the same thing, but saying completely different things at the same time. So, how do people?
we messed it up, but again we are very intelligent enough to
That's the way
keep
it
things
is.
aside.
Yep, that's the way it is. So
Okay, now what
how
it
do
is,
how do people get a hold of your books?
my books are available everywhere in the world. They can find on Amazon. Okay.
Amazon. Okay.
Amazon. They can. So I have got very good reviews
Okay.
on Amazon for all my books. Especially this. This is a very one of the best books. Okay.
Okay.
Nobel laureate and this book, former Vice President of India, Mr. M. Venkaiah Naidu, has written a foreword. So like this, and I have got so many books. Probably we will record one more. We will have one more interview and we will discuss on some other topic.
Yeah,
So that
absolutely.
we can reach out to another audience and others because I've got so many books. This is a book, Vision 2030, 1 million global leaders. This is one book. So many books are there. I kept only this is the book on this is soft leadership, right? So like this, so many books are there. So we'll take one topic, work, work on it. Then when you find time, then we can have one more interview. And when you find time, we'll have one more interview and we'll share with people and let us share with our knowledge with others and let us build a better world.
That sounds perfect to me. Do you ever do any speaking engagements? Do you ever talk to people about speaking to people about some of the difficulties that you've had, or do you just concentrate on becoming or being an author?
I'm basically a speaker and I wrote so many books. One of the books about speaking skills, secrets on public speaking. That's one more book. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm a multifaceted personality. I was a soldier. I was an Indian Air Force veteran. Second, I was an entrepreneur. Then I'm an educator. Now I'm an author. So I have so many dimensions. All in one. All in one means I was a soldier because I was in a military man. Then the second, I was an entrepreneur, which didn't work out. Then the third, one of the books is Vision 2030, 1 million globalists. I was an educator. Now I'm an author.
Author.
So I don't know. I don't know where I will go to the next level. Only God can decide
Right.
what happens. This is the current scenario for me.
Yep. You just got to be available to every scenario that comes at you. Is that right? So-
Life is great. Life
Well-
is great.
Well, you know what, Professor, I appreciate you joining me today. I appreciate you reaching out. I will get this recording to you as soon as we're done with it. We're going to be showing this this afternoon and sharing it to all of our people. Congratulations on your journey so far, and good luck on everything that you have upcoming. We know that it's a long road, but you know what? If anybody's going to do it, it's going to be you. So,
Yeah, excellent, excellent. Okay, let me add one more point. So
Yes.
I enjoyed your interview. You have very strong vocal cords. You have a very rich voice. This is the thing. You seem to be. You. I felt that you are not well, but the fact is that you are very strong man with strong vocal cords. You are blessed with very strong vocal cords. I enjoyed. I enjoyed privilege to to have crossed path with you virtually. Thank you very much, and I once again express my gratitude to you.
well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Good luck to you and everything that you continue
Thank-
to do. So, thank you very much. My name is Zach Clayton. We're going to be right back. Thank you. Again, that was Professor Rao from India doing some talking about his wonderful journey, about his journey that he really struggled with, and all the stuff that he went through. Again, it's really kind of one of those things that we're finding all of these situations where people can people can prove to you that, guess what, life is fleeting. Life isn't life isn't one of those things that don't worry, it's gonna it even if one bad thing happens, whatever, it's just going to keep going. That's not the way it is. It's very, very finicky, I guess is the best way to put it. 1 second you're here, 1 second, you have an illness, and then next thing you know, you're gone. And it's scary. It is so scary to think that that it can be like this. There's just there's so much to do in life. Just make sure that you every moment counts. Because every moment means something to someone in your life. We're going to be running a little bit longer than the hour. We're going to be going about an hour and a half, because I'm going to be bringing you another video that I did today that just means so much to me, because it's one of our it is our newest mission cause. It is Nancy's Jesus. It's Nancy's home, and the Nancy's house. I'm sorry, Nancy's house. Can I start this segment over? Oh, I'm sorry, my producer said no. Since I'm self-produced, that's pretty sad. But it's Nancy's house, caring for caregivers, which really means a lot to me. I've grown up in a house full of caregivers. And myself, I am now a caregiver. I can barely take care of myself, yet somebody decided to leave somebody in my care. Scary. Um, but this is this is an amazing interview I did with Kim Terry today. Of course, not on my end. Kim was fantastic. She's, um, you know, she's one of the main uh, people who keep Nancy's house going, and everything that she says is so important because there's a lot of times that we look at caregivers and we're like going, well, and we mentioned this last week. Once again, this is something else that I mentioned last week. There's a lot of times that we take for granted what caregivers do. Caregivers, take and they give up of their lives, even if it's their own family, because there are so many people who are not equipped to do it. And God love you if you're not. Admit that you're not. It's not a bad thing to say, look, this isn't me. This is nope, nope, nope. This is out of my wheelhouse. It's better to admit that it's not in your wheelhouse than to try to get in there and do something, and more harm can be done than good. A lot more harm. So we depend on these caregivers to jump in there and do these things to help provide for these families to where they can make sure that their loved ones are taken care of. Okay. So Nancy's house takes care of these individuals. Job form right below me. That's where you can find the place to donate to Nancy's house. Go to any of our community pay up forward partners, verified partners. You shop with them. You send us your proof of purchase, and throw a donation to Nancy's house. Make sure that they're taking care of the caregivers that are giving so much to so many. Once again, all you got to do is shop, click, and pick. Shop with our partners. Click a picture of the proof of purchase and pick your cause. Today, of course, we're focusing on Nancy's house. And once again, this is Kim. Kim is from Kim Terry from Nancy's house. Everybody, Zach Clayton, Community Pay Up Forward, Community Dare to Care, and God, I love this part. The pack channels. I don't know why I love that part, but I do. We are in the middle of our, as you guys know, rediscover our the happy place, and this is all about mental health and how we can make people understand that there's no good way to react from the loss of life. And so we're always trying to find different ways to help people in different stressful situations. Nobody's stress is the same, not a single one of us. There's so many different things that people have been through that there are similarities. It's not, if you are the first one to come up with a stressful way or a reason for your stress, it's going to be a miracle. There's been somebody who's had something similar to you in the past, but every single one of us deal with it different. Every single one of us have different ways to work through it, and every single one of us have different ways that we need to treat it. So yes, while you are individualized, remember you're never alone. With me today is Kim Terry, and she is with Nancy's House, a program for caregivers. And we've focused a lot on caregivers recently. Selfishly, this has to do with me becoming a foster father to a young man with special needs, but also growing up in this area and knowing so many caregivers that I've known over the years. This is one of the wonderful things that I think is really important, and bringing attention to these individuals who are out there giving up of their own free lives and giving up of their time and their energy. Kim, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And one of your guys's one of your group's special messages to people is you guys have two things that people must do when they come to Nancy's house. The one that I love the most is sleep,
Yeah.
because people lose sleep.
Hmm.
People lose sleep a lot because they no longer think for just themselves. They also have to
Hmm.
think of the people they're taking care of, right?
Right.
What how difficult is that for the layman to understand?
So the I think for caregivers, and I'll speak on that side first, I think sleep, they consider it to be a luxury that they can't necessarily afford. When you're taking care of someone else, if you nod off or you take a nap or something like that, it's like, oh, you're being lazy or you're not doing enough or something like that, not realizing that sleep is a necessity for life. But when you're looking at your life in the view of taking care of someone else and your life is no longer your own, sleep just becomes one of those things that, no, I don't need sleep. I have to take care of this person. If I do something normal, like take a nap, then I'm just being lazy and ineffective at this point. And
Yeah,
that's a caregiver view of sleep. So they don't get a lot of it.
right. Um, we were talking to a lovely lady who she also helps other caregivers, but her her caregiving duties are her son, who is
Mhm.
severely autistic.
Mhm.
And we know that there's a lot of people who, and when she mentions sleep all the time, you can just see the tear
Mhm.
well up in her eye.
Yeah.
Yet she feels guilty all the time because she knows that people are looking at her and they're going, well, it's your kid, is this not what you're supposed to do? But they don't understand that, you know what, when you take care of a child without special needs, you can tell this child, hey, you know what, why don't you go and read a book, give mommy a chance to take. And
Mhm.
the kid with the child with special needs, there's not that
Right.
opportunity.
Right. And I think parents struggle with understanding that, when you have a child, you sign up for things that you didn't necessarily know you were signing up for,
Hmm.
right? Having a kid anyway is a huge responsibility. But if you couple that with a kid that is living with any type of disability or has any type of special needs, you didn't necessarily sign up for that part and you don't consider yourself a caregiver. As I hear a lot of people, caregivers say, well, this is my lot in life. I get it. I hear you. But in the original thinking, that's not necessarily what you signed up for. So you make yourself become this parent who has to do all these other things without understanding that you are also a caregiver in this space as it stands right now.
Caregiving is one of those things where the saying, you must take care of yourself before you take care of other people. Caregiving is one of those things that is so vitally important, is
Hmm.
it not?
Yes, absolutely.
And if you don't take care of yourself, there is, you always hear about, if you're on a plane, you must put on your own
I
life
was just
jacket.
about to say that.
Yeah,
Yes.
before you put on anybody else's, because if you're gone, you can't help anybody else.
Right.
What is the hardest thing that you have to do on a day-to-day basis to convince somebody, hey, stop, you got to think for yourself? What's some of the hard things that you have to convince people?
First, I have to convince people that they are still a person with needs and wants and desires, and that is separate from being a caregiver. People no longer see themselves as individuals. It's all about that other person, and they're thinking to themselves and they express, my need, what I need doesn't matter because this person has greater needs and this person needs all of these other things. It's never, I am Kim and I have caregiving responsibilities for someone else. They come into the role of caregiver and it becomes, I am Kim, the caregiver. not I am Kim and I also have caregiving responsibilities. We can't even begin to unravel the rest of it until we get that separation defined, and that, and after that, it is, you do need sleep. You are deserving of rest. You may feel guilty. You may feel some anger that you don't want to express because you don't necessarily want to be in this position. I mean, it's so many emotions that come after that. But that hardest part is understanding that you have caregiving responsibilities. That's one of your roles. It's not who you are. And we can't begin to get into any of that, like I said, until people understand that separation.
A professional athlete, because of their job, needs physical therapy.
Hmm.
It's a need.
Right.
As a society, we understand and we accept this.
Hmm.
Why is it so hard for people to understand that rest and relaxation for a caregiver is something that we need because of what we do, because of our
Hmm.
profession? Why is it looked upon as something that, well, you're weak if you
Hmm.
need this? This is what you chose to do.
Right.
Why is it set up to where, well, you must be weak if you need this because you chose to do this in life?
Hmm. And I think society puts those kinds of pressures on them. Say, for instance, if you're taking care of a family member, well, that's your family member. That's your
Mhm. Yeah.
obligation and that's your duty. You don't get to opt out of that. But in essence, you could. Society says, no, that's your responsibility now. And I think that comes from a long time being ingrained in us that we take care of our own. And I understand that. However, when these additional things become a part of it with illness, doctor's appointments and groceries, cleaning, all of the different things that come along with that, people just are able to dismiss it. Oh, well, that's your mom. I get it. But my mom is hard to take care of. I
Yeah.
am tired.
Yeah.
And a lot of caregivers are also locked in because society is seeing them that way. So now they don't even feel free to express any emotions behind it because it'll be that, oh, you're weak, stop whining, oh, you're just whatever. And caregivers own that. We as a society don't necessarily look anymore at taking care of each other as a whole. It's you take care of them because that's your responsibility. I mean, I might come sit with that person for an hour or two and say, "Woo, I'm tired. I can give that up," but not realizing that's your life,
Yeah.
and people just, I don't know why. And it's not even cutting somebody slack. I was about to use that terminology. It is looking at the humanity of a person, recognizing that they have sacrificed and it's a daily sacrifice. And for some reason, society just won't buy into it, even though the stats are there. Caregivers are going through a lot. Their mortality rate is higher than those who don't have caregiving responsibilities. All of that is there. But as long as I, as maybe a non-caregiver, don't have to really bear the weight of that, I feel comfortable leaving that responsibility on you.
Key point that I pulled out of what you just said, and I know a couple of these people. Not everybody is built to be able to take care of someone else. Your
Exactly.
child or not, your mother
Right.
or not. We're not, yes, we all have that, we take care of our own. We love to do
Hmm.
that. But when it comes down to it, there are times that you just sit there and you're like going, good God, I'm not equipped to take care of this on for myself,
Hmm.
let alone somebody else. Good on them for realizing that they cannot do it.
Hmm.
Great on them.
Yes.
Because there are people out there who are built, who take on that responsibility, who are available and not any more skilled than you are in life,
Hmm.
but have that built-in um, ability to take care of somebody else. and
Hmm.
and that's one of those things that so I think that a caregiver is so vital in life, because if deep down inside you're not meant to do this, good God, don't try. All you're going to do is not only
Right.
hurt yourself, you're going to hurt the person that needs the care. So,
Hmm.
that's really one of those things that, I mean, I love this conversation right here because of that point, because we're getting it out that, you know what, you don't have to be super parent, you don't have to be super child, if your life is not, I mean, if you just don't think that you're built to do it, because there
Hmm.
are wonderful people who are out there, but those people need relief at
Hmm.
times. They need, everybody needs a break. Every one of us has said, good God, world, stop for a second. Let
Right.
me take and look from the outside for 5 minutes. and
Yes.
and so that's one of the other things. What is the other thing that you guys, sleep is one of them that you require everybody does? What's the
Hmm.
other one?
Eat.
Eat. That's
Sleep and eat. That is, caregivers historically are not taking care of themselves by even something as having a simple meal. Because if I'm, if I, especially if someone has a special diet or something like that, I'm preparing this for them and making sure that the person I'm caring for is okay. I might just grab something quick because I have other stuff to do,
yeah.
or, and it's like, no, eating and eating good food, not the junky stuff, which can be good, but not good for you.
Right.
And Nancy's house is all about you sleep, you eat. Everything else you do, if you're in one of our retreats, is on your own, is because you want to do it. We'll come check on you. If you're not out of your room by, say, noon, we'll come check on you and say, hey, the only thing we're saying hey about is, hey, food,
Yeah.
sustain yourself. That's
You
that.
it's amusing because the other day, this was probably 2 nights ago, I was busy doing stuff, and dinner got done, and I went to go sit down, and all of a sudden I look up and Andrew's like going, I want some more, and I was like going, I haven't I haven't even put my fork into my food yet, and
Right.
this kid needs more, and I'm like going, wait, time out. And and unfortunately that happens a lot more than,
Hmm.
we've got to make sure, like in the morning, with just as a parent, we gotta have to make sure that he's taken care of, he's got everything ready while he's doing this. Yeah, but you know what, that the point that you make is very poignant, because yeah, I forego all of my needs in the morning because I need to make sure he's got his meds, you got to make sure that
Hmm.
he's got his school supplies, everything else. And so all of my stuff gets pushed aside while we're taking care of him.
Hmm.
And then by the time you get home, the work day starts, and it's like going, well, geez, I wish I could eat, but okay. So in comes candy, in
Yep.
comes cookies, in comes these things, just easy edibles, and
Hmm.
stuff that makes it. And so that's one of the really cool things that, you guys are making sure that people are taking care of themselves, because you're right, I eat a lot of good things, but they're not a damn one of them that's really good for me. So
Right.
it's like, hey, you look in my trash can right now, it looks like Hostess exploded all over my trash can. So, but uh one of the you guys have an annual conference coming up on
Hmm.
November 5th. Can you tell us
Hmm.
a little bit about it?
Sure. So our annual conference normally always has six interactive workshops for caregivers, friends. Anybody can get something out of these conferences. We normally have a keynote speaker. And so this year, our keynote speaker is Yuki Washington of CBS 3. Um, and we have a sleep doctor there to tell you about the power of naps. We have a legal person there that talks about things you need to know in caregiving and the legalities of it. I think we try to make things interactive, but also the informational pieces, a lot of times being a caregiver, like you talked about, not necessarily being equipped, the paperwork, someone else's lives a lot of times essentially is in your hands. And how do I get to this red tape, or how do I get the services and resources that the person I'm caring for needs? We have qigong, we have narrative medicine, talking about poetry and therapy through that route. So you get to choose two out of the six workshops. but things will be recorded. This year it is $10 a person, and we go from 9 to 12:30. And after we finish the workshops and your keynote and everything, we normally have some conversation and a raffle. And our attendance continues to grow every year because so many people are just finding the benefit of learning about all of these different things, as well as what Nancy's House and our sponsors have to offer.
One of the things that you said there was about the legal is really, I don't want to say ironic, because you guys are going to be our new mission of the new mission that pops up whenever you come onto the website. This conversation is going to come up for the next couple weeks. Right now, we have Parent Advocacy Consortium
Hmm.
that's up there, because what they do is, as much as we wish it wasn't true, there's a lot of red tape getting a child
Hmm.
into school.
Hmm.
We have been battling now for over 3 weeks, about 3.5 weeks, just to get my son on the bus.
Wow. Yeah.
And it it's it's upsetting, because a third, or less than a quarter of a block away, there's kids that go and get onto a bus right there, you know,
Hmm.
and I cannot get my child onto a bus, and to get to and from school, which, look, I don't care about taking him to and going picking him up. That's
Hmm.
not a problem. But is it is it a little bit of a strain on my day because of meetings and stuff? Yes, but you know what, I get to
Right.
spend time with him. That's not what this is about. It's more about, him getting to be with other children who have needs, and he gets to take in and get to communicate with them and
Hmm.
interact with them, and on free time, not on school
Yeah.
time. This is on free time. So that's one of those things that, having that knowledge, and the paperwork is insane. uh
Hmm.
the med reports, the health reports,
Hmm.
incident reports. Good God, incident reports.
Yes.
And it's funny, somebody sits there and goes, well, incident report, kid cuts his finger, what, you're going to write down every cut and scrape?
Yep.
Yes, you are.
You are.
Yes, you are. Absolutely, you are. you
Hmm.
know uh and so, yeah, and there's so this is, your conference, I think, would be great for anybody to take
Hmm.
who is interested in learning about what a caregiver does, not just caregivers themselves, but
Right.
and when is that coming up?
November 5th. And
And
it'll
how?
be, go ahead.
Okay, no, go on ahead, please.
Oh, yeah, November 5th, and it's a virtual, and it'll be from 9 a.m. to 12:30. And just even with the legal stuff and all of the other things we offer at the conference, you don't know what you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first thing. So when you can connect with a community, and I can't truly say Nancy's House offers a way to have community, because the people that are sponsors, the people that are presenting, are either friends of Nancy's House or on the board. We're accessible for people. And that's another thing. It's like you give us a little bit of information, and for some folks in some places, and then that's it. No, we have an accessible community that you can continue to connect with us. We'll reach out to people or whatever. We want to connect you to community so you don't feel so alone, because it can be very isolating to be a caregiver.
And one of the other things that we've been saying with Rediscover the Happy Place is what you don't know can kill somebody.
It
Okay,
can.
so
Yes.
yeah, and so, I mean, it's not just one of those things, what you don't know can hurt you. No, what you don't know,
Right.
and especially in a
In this
situation like
space.
this,
Yeah.
can kill somebody.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you have questions, if you need answers, this is a great place to go. You also have another event that, unfortunately, had to be delayed, but you have another event coming up, which is very, very intriguing to me, being an individual with a head injury. And this is for caregivers with
Hmm.
head injuries. Tell us
Right.
a little more about that, in which we're not certain on the date yet, but
Yeah.
um but let's get this out there, because I know, talking to Shane Hicks, who
Mhm.
also had a head injury and other things. This is something that we would really like to make sure. Again, as a
Mhm.
person with a head injury, we've said it before. You break your arm, they're going to wrap your arm up. They know how to fix it.
Yeah.
They've done it millions of times.
Right.
You
But
hurt
head
your
injury.
head, it's a crapshoot. They don't know
Yeah.
how to fix the head yet. So tell us about this event.
Right. So the Kobe, the Council for Brain Injury, works with us every year, and Alyssa Lewin, who is the founder of Nancy's House and a therapist by trade, does an 8-week semi-structured program every Tuesday from 2:30 to 4, and it's a call-in program for those caring for folks with traumatic brain injury. And the hope was that it would start this past Tuesday, but I'm glad you mentioned it because we're looking for folks to get in, more folks to get enrolled. So it will start next Tuesday. And if it has to be delayed, we can push it back. And, because the 8 weeks is structured in a way that you can't really break it up. So, but the plan is that it'll start this Tuesday, and Alyssa Lewin will be the contact for that. Anybody can get our information on the Nancy's House website. But yeah, so it is based off of a therapeutic process that was outlined in a book, and Kobe gets us to do it every year for them.
Okay, that's great. Do you happen to have a list of contact information for people?
Yes, it is ELISSA. It's just Alyssa at Nancy's hyphen house.org.
Okay, that's great. So Alyssa at Nancy's House .org with a hyphen in between Nancy's.
Hyphen in between Nancy's and house, yes.
Perfect. And you will be able to see it. And I'm doing this just out of uh, memory, but you're going to be able to see that right here when you read this on the show. So
Okay, wonderful.
yeah. So Tim, how do people get a hold of you if they have any more questions?
So they can go to our website. My information is all over there. And our website is nancy's-house.org. And so the best thing to do is subscribe to the calendar because it'll have every event and whoever to contact for whichever event, because we have tons of opportunities for engagement from book clubs to support groups, you name it. We try to make sure people are involved. And my email address is KTERRY at Nancy's-house.org.
I thank you for giving up your time, and we are proud to say this because we've been working on this for a little while, but we are proud to welcome Nancy's House into the Community Pay It Forward family as one of our mission partners. So now, anytime that you make a purchase with any of our partners, a portion of that can go to help them help caregivers. All you got to do is download this right here job form, and when you do that, a portion of your purchase can go to Nancy's House and help them continue everything that they're doing. Because you got to remember, if it wasn't for healthcare, or if it wasn't for providers, if it wasn't for caregivers, there'd be a lot of people out there that would have to be institutionalized. There would be a lot of people out there that would just be lost. So please remember that your local caregiver, remember what they go through. And if anybody comes up to you and they look a little bit frazzled, and remember there's a reason for that. So just always make sure that you consider, when you need to shop, you go to www.communitypayitforward.us. You go to our verified partners, shop with any of them. They've given us a referral, and we're taking that referral and we're going to give a 85% to Nancy's House. 85% of that referral every time is going to go to Nancy's House because they are a mission partner. So we welcome you to the family. We're so proud to have you. And please make sure that you join them at Nancy's-house.org. Check them out. And then add the calendar, right?
That's right. Subscribe to the calendar.
So, and once again, the annual conference is November 5th. You do not have to be a caregiver to join.
Right.
$10?
$10.
$10. and you're going to learn a lot. And
Mhm.
and it's not just good for you; it's good for everyone. So please make sure
Mhm.
that you join it. Kim, thank you very much for joining us today. I appreciate it.
Sure.
And it's just you're a beam of light, and I appreciate being able to talk to you.
Thank you. Same here, Zach.
All right, we will be right back with more. This is what happens when you let a button monkey try to run a show. Speaking of button monkey, this was supposed to be going out live. I thought this was going out live, but it's been recorded. So we are now finishing the show and going to be jumping over to the Rev. Please make sure that you join the Rev before you watch this show, because this show is going to come on right after the Rev now. So that's going to make no sense to you. My bad. I did it. I did it. But join him again on Monday at 5 o'clock Mountain, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Mountain, 8 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific, because I know what I'm doing. Anyway, I got to get going because I got to produce the show that just happened before you started watching this show. There's that Doctor Who thing again. All right, everybody. Please remember to love somebody out there because somebody out here loves you. Always remember that if you're not helping someone, you're hurting everyone. And most importantly, no one has to go it alone when we all come together. My name is Zach Clayton, Community Pay It Forward, Community Dare to Care, and I'm going to not do it. The PAC channels. I'd like to thank you again for a great week. Please take care of each other because we're all we got. I'm blessed that this weekend, my daughter and my youngest granddaughter are coming to visit, and we're going to take them fishing because that's what we do. Wife likes fishing. Her daughter, I'm the new guy, so I sit down, shut up, and go for the ride. But that's okay. I can play with Kinsley and I can be happy there. So, but if you have any questions, please send me a email to Zach@communitypayitforward.us. Zach@communitypayitforward.us. If you need any other information about me or anything else, go to my link tree. Just type in link tree on the interweb type thing and hit /Zach, Z-A-K Clayton, C-L-A-Y-T-O-N, Zach Clayton on Linktree. I appreciate your time. Oh, I thought maybe my dog was back in here. He's been chewing on the duck, so I had to take her outside. But anyway, I appreciate your time for today. Thank you to everyone who participated, and we will talk to you next week. On Wednesday, please make sure you join us. We are going to have some more great guests. We're going to learn a lot more stuff, and have a little bit of fun, and see if I can get through a show without screwing. Let's set the bar low. 10 things up. Let's see if I can get through without screwing up at least 10 things. All right. So thank you very much. Have a great weekend. Please be safe out there. Remember, love somebody out. How does this go? Yeah. Love somebody out there because somebody out here